Welcome to the revolution. An El Paso teacher who was fired over telling their students to use maps instead of the word pedophile for a comment in the classroom that touches off a firestorm, says Fox News. We'll go ahead and we'll actually listen to this here, but we'll listen to where she actually says that to him. And this article even goes as far as showing what the husband commented on a thread in a local Facebook group, which I found to be interesting too. So here is the article. It says, El Paso teachers firing over pedophiles comment in classroom launches a firestorm response. It goes on to say that El Paso's Independent School District Board of Trustees said the allegation is being investigated thoroughly. An El Paso teacher in Texas was informed of her proposed termination after telling students to call pedophiles minor attracted persons, according to the city's school district, but some witnesses say her remarks were taken out of context. Now, she literally says you shouldn't call them pedophiles. We shouldn't make fun of them just because they want to have sex with a 5-year-old. She literally says to a high school student. It's wild. It goes on to say that in an 18-second clip shared on TikTok, the Franklin High School teacher identified as the El Paso Teachers by the El Paso Teachers Association as Amber Parker, she'll never have a job again, can be heard telling students that they're not allowed to label individuals as pedophiles. She reportedly made the comment during a lesson on the play The Crucible. We're not going to call them that, Parker said in the video. We're going to call them MAPs, minor attracted persons. So don't judge people just because they want to have sex with a 5-year-old, she says. What in the kind of world are we coming to? We'll listen to the video in just a second, but it says first came the suspension. Then El Paso's Independent School District Board of Trustees unanimously voted to fire Parker following her remarks. On the evening of August 29th, 2022, the El Paso Independent School District was made aware of a classroom situation and promptly initiated an investigation. After a thorough investigation was conducted on September 6, 2022, during a special board meeting, the Board of Trustees approved a decision to notify a Franklin High School teacher of proposed termination. The process will continue in accordance with the Texas Education Code. Any allegation of potential misconduct is investigated thoroughly, and the safety of our students is a top priority. As this is a personal matter, no further information will be shared at this time. So it goes on to talk about some students were saying that it was taken out of context, and then it gives what her husband actually said. But let's go ahead and listen to this clip. It's 18 seconds long, and we'll see what this teacher had to say about maps.
What? Stop it, Diego. Yeah, no, we're not going to call them that. We're going to call them MAPs. No. Minor attracted persons. No. So don't judge people just because they want to have sex with a 5-year-old.
That was the perfect cut. You hear the guy go, what the fuck? That's wild. Now, thank the Lord that we're seeing retribution in this case. This is exactly what needs to happen across the board. And thankfully, it didn't have to come to school board meetings in this situation. Right? A lot of these situations have come to school board meetings, right? The sex books in children's libraries. Right, we've seen many videos about parents going and speaking up against those videos. There's some crazy books that they're putting in children's libraries, talking literally about sodomy and about sexual positions to 5- and 6-year-olds in elementary schools. It's horrific. But thankfully, it didn't have to come to this case. At least as far as I know, it seems as if this school board caught it right away. And, surprise, surprise, they did it in Texas. Now, I don't see how any of that could have been taken out of context. You can't say, so don't judge people just because they want to have sex with a 5-year-old. Yeah, I'm going to judge you. I'm going to judge you, and I'm going to do way worse than that to you if it's somebody that I know. I'm going to do far more to you than judge you. Yeah, dude, I'm not even going to get into it because that's called implication. But horrific thing to say, and to say it to an entire class of children, to say it to an entire group in a high school setting. What kind of precedent is that setting? You're literally talking to minors, saying it's okay. It's not only okay, but don't even judge those people for doing that to a child, for literally putting the child in a position where they're going to be hurt worse than anything you could possibly imagine, giving so much trauma for the rest of their lives that they're going to have to deal with and unpack in a way that somebody who didn't deal with that could never have to imagine. Could never have to imagine. And she's sitting in front of an entire school or an entire class of children saying that this should be acceptable and they shouldn't be judged. Not only that, but we're not even going to use this term in case we hurt their little pedophile feelings. Like, what in the world? Now, it goes on to say that the school district board of trustees voted to fire Parker following her remarks. On the evening, the El Paso school district was made aware of a classroom situation and promptly initiated an investigation. This is coming from the district's chief communications officer, who told Fox News Digital after a thorough investigation was conducted on September 6th. During a special board meeting, the Board of Trustees approved a decision to notify the teacher of proposed termination. The process will continue in accordance with the Texas Education Code. Any allegation of potential misconduct, we already talked about that, moving on. Some students went on to say that her words were taken out of context. The teacher was expressing, this says, how it was ridiculous how we might not be able to call people pedophiles, that we will probably have to start calling them MAPS because it is offensive to them. The class agreed. That's not what it sounded like. Now, if that is what it is, maybe you shouldn't be saying that in a group of high school students. But if you're being sarcastic and then following that clip by saying, yeah, this is disgusting, this is gross what they're doing, we're absolutely going to call these people pedophiles, and we're not going to give in to the woke ideology that is saying that we have to change the terms that we're using to describe the literal worst people in the world doing the worst act in the world with the proper term for doing so and fear of you hurting their feelings. If that is the case and she was being sarcastic, yeah, it's definitely a distasteful joke. Should she lose her job for a distasteful, sarcastic remark? No, but if she is sitting here in front of a class of high school students protecting pedophiles and telling minors that they should also do the same, right? Literally the people that pedophiles go after, minors in this case. Now, it says that Daniel Call, vice president of El Paso Independent School District Board, noted that while the lesson plans are approved by administrators, Parker appeared to stray from it in the particular class. Call had previously offered Parker the benefit of the doubt, saying the video had appeared to omit some important context and that it seemed Parker was only pretending to advocate the position. Now, it did seem like she had some tonality there that seemed a little sarcastic, but I'm not going to be the one to protect her. Update on my last post. After hearing from some of the students that were in the class, including my own nephew, I believe now that the teacher had appeared to be promoting and normalizing pedophilia I believe now that the teacher that appeared to be promoting and normalizing pedophilia was pretending to advocate a position she didn't actually believe in order to challenge the students in preparation for them reading the play The Crucible. The video that many of us saw was missing the important context. I regret the negative attention that the situation has brought to the teacher and wish her well. I'm told she is a great educator. But he ultimately voted in favor of firing her, saying any reasonable person that heard what the 7 trustees heard would have voted to terminate Amber Parker. Now, Parker's husband, Jason, said that Parker's comments were made to challenge students. Mr. Daniel Call, Mr. Daniel Call, I happen to be the husband of the teacher in question, Parker wrote on Facebook. I can tell you that we were shaken to our core about these accusations. It is both scary and disturbing that an edited 18-second clip could destroy a 30-year career when taken completely out of context. She is exemplary as a teacher and truly cares about the students. Needless to say, we have spent many sleepless nights because of this cruel release to social media of the 18 seconds. We pray that you and the rest of the board will see this for what it is and not allow the edited video to destroy an innocent woman, her career, and her family in the process. I want to thank you personally for the updated post to begin to right this wrong. So, it says that controversial classroom moments have been captured across the country in recent years, driving parents to school board meetings, demanding more of a say in their children's education. Now, let's look at some of the comments here. It says, this is a big problem with society. Anything and everything can be manipulated and put online or in the media to be the opposite of the actual facts. And once it is out, any correction or apologies are buried and people are left with false impressions of circumstances. It also says that want to know what's wrong with education today. After speaking with students and witnesses, I have come to believe that the teacher was being satirical and not expressing a view she held, but rather the opposite. I hear she is a great teacher. Da la la la. Okay, that doesn't give us much information at all. So it also says, so it is illegal to help a map with a cellulose, nitrate, and nitroglycerin-assisted copper clad PB projectile traveling at 2 times the speed of sound, striking them with the frontal bone, exiting the occipital bone, or is that still murder? Oh, I think that's called a gun. Interesting. All right. Anyways, so this is good that these headlines are starting to lead in this direction, right? Good that we're starting to see pushback from not only the parents going to parent meetings, but also the school boards going and realizing the pushback that they're going to have in these situations. Now, if this is a case where that teacher was being sarcastic, poor taste, poor timing, let's not even talk to children about the idea of normalizing pedophilia in the classroom. Obviously, not the right way to go about that. But should she be fired for having a sarcastic remark talking about maps? I don't know. But if she's saying that, the sentence alone, maybe you shouldn't be talking about, what did she say? So don't judge people just because they want to have sex for a 5-year-old or with a 5-year-old. Yeah, that's not funny. That's not a joke. That's not sarcasm. That's wrong time and place. If you want to do that at a bar and play devil's advocate on an argument, you deserve to get ripped apart by whoever you're doing that with. Maybe you don't need to lose your job over being sarcastic on that note, but in this case, don't talk to children about not judging people who want to have sex with a 5-year-old, right? Anyways, now, again, I think it's a positive thing that this is coming up. I think it's a positive thing that the school board is pushing back immediately, not waiting for parents to come to school board meetings, calling an emergency meeting over this, because this got millions and millions and millions of views.